Hello and welcome to Jason Vinny squealing. Sorry, welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is Yawny Face. See, my name's Jason Newland, and this is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And andy dandy 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 dandy. Ooh. Yeah, today is Monday's Boring Objects. So I just need to get and figure out what I'm going to talk about. I think there's a couple of choices. One was going to be keyholes, and I could kind of see that going in a weird direction. So I thought that I won't do that one. Then I thought about coat hangers. I wasn't sure about that one either. So I kind of decided on one. I have to check it now because I've got it somewhere. Where is it? Oh, no. Right, so here's the choices. I went to ChatGPT and just said, "Oh, give me a few things." Coat hangers came up. A few different ones. Toilet roll holder. Toilets. How about that? Or bathrooms? Should we say bathrooms? I was gonna do remote controls. Let's talk about bathrooms. I'm going to try and go through every single bathroom that I've ever been in, that I've lived, places I've lived. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a long one. Bearing in mind I've lived in over 50 places since I left school, and probably another 10 before that, if not more. So, yeah. Bathrooms. I can't believe I've never talked about bathrooms before. So for those that have never listened to me before, don't know what this is, it is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. It's basically me just chatting on and on and on and on. And hopefully gives you a chance to, at the very least, feel more relaxed. And maybe drift off to sleep. And also because I do these regularly, generally daily, if all's going well, then it's kind of company as well. I think of it kind of like a radio show, really. Like a radio show, but no news, no news bulletins and no callers, no music. It's nothing like a radio show, is it really, I suppose? Although I do know there are some radio shows I've listened to where it's one person just talking for 3 hours. But they do read out emails. So what I could start doing is if I give you, if you go to my website, which is what, jasonnewland.com. If you click on the contact form, which is in the menu, and just send me a message. It can be anything, and I'll just read it out. So it could be, happy birthday to Lassie, or does anyone know where I left my hat? It could be anything, you know, just whatever you want to do, and I can just read that out. Or it could be a comment on yesterday's recording. Because it's not live, I can't take things live, you know, like a live message. Maybe you could leave a message underneath the recording. So when I post it on Facebook, you could leave a message underneath asking me a question. Or if you actually go to the website itself, and for example, you decide to listen to let's say you listen to yesterday's Sunday papers, Let Me Bore You to Sleep, number 1473. You can click on it, whichever one, there's 6, because there's 6 different versions, and you can, no you can't, I thought you could leave a message. I thought you could leave a comment. Why can't you leave a comment? That's not any good. Oh, okie doke. Well, you could leave a comment on... Okay, maybe I'll look at some other ways to give you an opportunity to leave comments. But if you just click on a contact form on my website, or you can leave a comment underneath my Facebook page, on my Facebook page where I post it. It's Jason Newland's Boring Group. You could join. I mean, you could actually just pause the recording now and just search for it on your Facebook, Jason Newland's Boring Group, because you're probably not fallen asleep yet. I've only been talking for an hour. I don't know how long I've been talking. How long is it? Blimey, it's about 8 minutes. That's ridiculous. So yeah, 8 minutes I've been talking. If you've not already fallen asleep, then you could perhaps just, you know, search Jason Newland's Boring Group, or right. If you go to my website, right at the top, there's a link which says Join Jason Newland's Boring Group on Facebook, and that takes you to it. And just click join, and you'll be accepted. Also, I've got it's time for questions for this week's Q&A Friday. So I've posted any questions for this week's Q&A Friday, 31st of October 2025. That is on my Jason Newland's Boring Group on Facebook as well. I've already got one question from Hope. So what I'll do is, if you've got questions to be answered on Q&A Friday, do it underneath the Q&A Friday thing. Otherwise, if you just got like a shout out, you just want to say hi to somebody or tell me how amazing I am, you'd think I'd get fed up hearing it, but I've not heard it yet. No, I don't think anybody likes listening to me. No. So yeah, it'd be cool. Also, just to let you know that the poll I posted about making the Facebook group public, I got quite a lot of comeback on that one, or not comeback, votes. 28 yes and 2 no's. But when I looked into it, Facebook does not allow private groups to be converted to public groups. So the only way I could do it is if I started a new group. And I've had this group for... How long have I had this group for? I can tell you because I can just skim down. Oh. I generally just trying to find... It's over 4 years, I think. Maybe 5 years. Maybe 6 years. Wow. Over 4 years. Someone's... Lisa Marie joined 21st of September 2021. 5, it's 6 years. So 6 years. This, that's weird. 6 years. Where's... I'm just trying to think. Where's, what's her name? Apparently I joined the group in 2018. So was that 6 years ago? Seven years ago. Oh, okay. So I'm just looking at it. So 6 years. So the first member was 6 years ago. So the idea, I mean, even though, you know, well, not technically, I mean, realistically, I don't have like a huge amount of people on here. I've got 234 members, because I know it's not a lot, but at the same time, kind of, if it's taken 6 years to get that many, starting from scratch doesn't seem like a particularly good idea. You know what I mean? In it. So Molly's the group expert and the admin. If I went public, I'd have to have a lot more admins people, potentially, because what probably could happen is start getting people just joining, or just like coming on the page and just leaving adverts and leaving dodgy messages and having arguments and stuff like that, which we don't have on my group, or on our group rather. It's 234 members, but 234 groovy members. It should really be called the Groovy Club. Maybe Jason Newland's Groovy Club. But because it is, you know, it's kind of based upon the Let Me Bore You to Sleep podcasts. That's why I've kind of set the group up. Yeah. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. So, yeah, that was it really. So what did I decide to talk about? Bathrooms. Before I start the recording, let me think what has happened since last yesterday. I don't know what time it is. I made the recording yesterday, but I went to bed at 8 o'clock in the evening. I don't know. I just had to go to bed. Just one of those situations. I I kind of had my fill of the day. Vinny's becoming a little bit problematic in a sense of taking him out in the dark, which I kind of try to avoid, but it's hard now as it's darker. You know, I mean, it's dark in the evening, it's dark in the morning. So there's when I take him into the park, it's happened a couple of times now, where I've just gone to turn a corner and there's been another dog there right in our faces. But last night it was kind of the opposite. I thought I heard something, but no light. The person didn't have a light or anything. So I've got lights, I've got 2 lights and a lighted belt. And just so I can be seen by other people. Plus so I can also see. But I can't see around corners because my eyes... Well, I don't know. What animals can see around corners? What am I thinking? Locusts? Locusts? Stick insects? I don't know. Giraffes probably. I guess technically. I mean, they can see round corners from a mile away, can't they? With those necks. But that's enough. No neck shaming. And Vinny started barking, and it was only early. It was like 7, 6:30, 7, something like that. And Vinny went like nutty, all that, and just the other dog wasn't bothered at all. But I get fed up with it. I'll be honest. He never used to bark at anyone or anything, and as he's got older, he's more volatile, more barky towards dogs he doesn't know. Big dogs, even sometimes little dogs, he's just highly strung. But he still pulls towards them, he still wants to go and see them so he can have a bark. He's like so devious. He'll pretend to smell a bit of grass, knowing that someone's coming towards us. And I'm trying to pull him away. Like there's a couple of big dogs on leads coming, and he's like, no, I want to smell this bit of grass here. And you can see he's looking. He keeps looking up. Honestly, he's always trying to get his own way. Constantly pulling as well. He can nearly pull my weight. I did an experiment earlier, and I got a neighbour to walk ahead of him so he'd follow her, and he was pulling me, and I stood probably a foot away, or maybe 10, 12 inches, 15 inches away from a lamppost. And I leant back, so at least I didn't fall on my bum, you know, and I did knock the lamppost over. But it's so strong. If I was probably 3 or 4 stone lighter, he could probably hold my weight. It's ridiculous. A dog his size is so strong. I'm trying to think what else happened. I did a really long recording last night. Or yesterday rather. It was about 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think. It was 2 hours, 24 minutes and 58 seconds. Although last Thursday, like a few days back, the first Thursday throwbacks was 2 hours, 32 minutes and 53 seconds. It's weird, isn't it? What? Trivia Tuesday last week, 2 hours and 20 minutes and 9 seconds. And yeah, so I mean, usually it's over an hour, but 2 hours is ridiculous. That's a long time, isn't it? It's a lot. Yeah, thanks, Finn. That's a long time to be talking. I'm just looking down some of the more recent ones, but usually like hour and a half is about average time. Q&A Friday, sometimes they go on for a while, so the one the week before last was just under 2 hours. It's generally not. I mean, if there is going to be a long one, it's usually Q&A Friday. They're usually the longest one. Let's have a look. I'm just interested now. What's that got to do with bathrooms? Shh. I'm just looking at see what the. If I go no music. No music. Okay. Q&A Friday, no music. 1.5 hours, 2 hours. 2 hours, 9 minutes. That was in June. 2 hours, 30 minutes. That was in May. So these are the Q&A Fridays. So I've done quite a few long ones. Just under 2 hours, 23rd of May. 2 hours, 3 minutes, 2nd of May. Blimey. 2 hours, 15 minutes. So I'm guessing, it looks like the Q&A Fridays are quite often very long. I'm sure I did one that was nearly 3 hours once. Like a long time ago. Well, this year, but a while back. I'm sure I did. So another one just under 2 hours, 10th of October. I think that's the one I already mentioned, I think. 19th of July, 2 hours and 32 minutes. 20th of June this year, 2 hours and 1 minute. That's a lot, isn't it? It's quite a long time for someone to be talking. 14th of September, 2 hours, 26 minutes. Yeah. Just under 2 hours on the 22nd of August. 2 hours, 2 minutes on the 29th of August. Blimey, man. I'm sure there's one that was over 3 hours. Like really, really long one. But I can't remember when it was. I don't necessarily recall. Not sure if I can find any others. 2 hours, 16 minutes, 17th of January. Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking of, I think. This is the 13th of December last year, 2 hours and 59 minutes. Wow, so is it that long ago? I can't even remember. I remember doing a really long one, which, I mean, that's longer than any one I've done before. I didn't realise it was like nearly a year ago. I've done one 8th of November last year, 2 hours and 6 minutes. 1st of November last year, 2 hours and 12 seconds. 18th of April this year, 2 hours and 24 minutes. 28th of March this year, 2 hours and 17 minutes. Blimey. 15th of November last year, 2 hours and 27 minutes. And I found another really long one. 20th of December 2024, 2 hours and 47 minutes. 22nd of November last year, 2 hours 20. Wow. I don't know why. I have a feeling that I'd done one that was really, like, ridiculously long. Mind you, 3 hours is long. I mean, That is long. It's the length of a radio show. 3 hours. Surprised I had a voice left after talking for 3 hours. Yesterday I noticed my voice was going a little bit croaky. A little bit croaky. No, I'm just going down. Hope you don't mind me going down. Just having a little look. Little look. What can I see there? Right, come on. Right. 2 hours and 9 minutes, 6th of June this year. 2 hours 3 minutes, 2nd of May. 2 hours 30, 16th of May this year. 2 hours 15, 3rd of January this year. I'm just trying to find that really long one. It says 1 hour 50, it's 27th of June. 1 hour 55, don't know when that was, 26th of September. Okay. 2 hours and 1 minutes and 51 seconds, 20th of June this year. Another one, 10th of October, just under 2 minutes, 1 hour 57. 22nd of August, 1 hour 54. 29th of August, 2 hours and 2 minutes. I've done a lot of the old Q&A Fridays, haven't I? I wonder how many I've done. I've got another one here, 2 hours 32, and that's the 19th of July this year. 2 hours 27, 14th of September. It's really weird, unless it's nearly 2 hours, I'm not even taking any notice of it now. It has to be at least 2 hours, or just under. Very, very strange. I might have gone through them all. I mean, there's a few I still need to go through because I think I'm missing some. 28th of March this year, 2 hours 17. 1st of November, 2 hours. 1 hour 55 minutes. 29th of November last year. 2 hours 24. 18th of April this year. So generally it's like quite often over 2 hours, 2 hours 20, 22nd of November last year. It was the 13th of December, there's that 2:59, wasn't it? But I also got 2:47, 20th of December last year. I think I'm just going through the same ones now. I don't mean to, sorry, whoops. Whoopsie daisy. I think that's it. Just going through. I do believe that is, it's not all of them, but it's as much as I can be bothered to go through. Because now it just keeps bringing up like 5 hour and 10 hour ones, which is not really what I want. I just wanted the ones with no music. 1 hour 51 minutes, 3rd of June this year. Maybe it is the one last December, the one that's just under 3 hours, because it's weird though, because I remember making it. So why would I remember that far back? It's not that far, not that long ago, is it? But it is though, isn't it? It's quite a long time. It's nearly a year. I can kind of remember it quite clearly. 1 hour, 2 hours 2 minutes on the 14th of November last year. I have a theory. I think it might be hiding. I think there's one here that is like really, really long, like super long. But I just can't seem to find it. I really do believe that. I think it anyway. I don't know how much I believe it. I think I believe it. Yeah, I do believe it. Just, I don't know how much I believe it. Q&A, Q&A. I just realised it's gone past the Q&A Fridays now. It's now going through other things. So yeah, let's just, forget about that. There's been a lot. So that one was the 18th of December last year, just under 3 hours. And I do not set out to make a recording. That's long. Genuinely do not. It's not kind of on my list of things to do. Although, let me have a look. If I go into all my recordings, view by details, size, length, computing files. So if I go, let me bore, this is searching the hard drive, let me bore you to sleep. The thing is, there's thousands on there. Let me bore you to sleep. It might take about an hour for that to all come up. I try and have a backup of everything, but it's not easy because I keep running out of space. I need to buy another one. I've got various different other places that I keep stuff, like the iPad space, and the Google Drive. Just trying to hold on to stuff here. Oh, it's going back. It's only going back to 2024. This is going to be. So if I go down to, I want to go for length. That's really what I'm looking for. So length. 4 hours 55. Okay, so if I click on length, which means I should get the longest ones first, but there's too many. I might just come back to that because it's getting silly now. I wish I hadn't brought it up. DFS, last chance to get these sofas in time for Christmas. Why? It's the end of October. If I buy a sofa, if I had the money to buy a sofa, why would I have to wait till after Christmas if I didn't get there now? Deliver it to me tomorrow. I give you the money, you deliver it. I'm not going to wait around for like 2 months. That's just silly. I'd go somewhere else, wouldn't you? I'm not going to wait for 2 months to have a sofa delivered. Deliver it. I don't expect them to deliver it on the day. It's fair enough, but deliver it tomorrow. If you can't deliver it, you don't get money for it. Simple as that. They're the rules I live by. But they can't deliver everybody at the same time. Well, if you can't deliver it, why are you selling it? Why are you taking people's money if you can't deliver it? If you don't have the product, don't sell the product. That's my rule. It's like going into a supermarket, isn't it? So, yeah. In fact, I've seen that. Where have I seen that? So I paid for something and they said, well, we can get it delivered to you. Like, what do you mean? It's in my hand. Oh no, that's on show. Oh yeah, I took something out of the display window. They said, no, you can't have this one. We have to order some for next week. But literally, it's in my hand now. But it shouldn't be in your hand. It should be in a window. the display that we spent 5 hours putting together over the weekend when we should have been at home with our family. Like, okay. To be honest, I never appreciated what went into a window display, like for Christmas or whatever kind of holiday it might be, until I worked in a gift shop. It's a lot of work. It's not easy. It's, yeah, a lot of work goes into that. So it's not that I've got respect for people that do it. I do, but it's a lot of work. But at the same time, I didn't really enjoy doing it, because what I did was never... Well, firstly, being in public. Because a window is... Like, I was, putting stuff on a window and people walking past looking at me. Someone like asked how much I was, which was kind of rude and also kind of affirming as well at the same time. Someone wants to buy me. It's nice. And it didn't happen. But so having gone through sitting in a window, moving things around and making things look nice, and keep going out the front and looking at it, going back and keep going out looking at the front and getting stuff up, and then getting told that it's it's a long time ago, I shouldn't get the ump, but the first time I did it was 2004, and I remember it's like I had a Christmas tree, baubles, Santa, because it was a gift shop, and so I had things like that. I had to get stuff from other places as well, because we didn't have it in the gift shop, and I thought it looked nice. There was also, because it's a Buddhist shop, so there was incense and like throws. I'm trying to think what kind of things they used to sell. Wind chimes, rugs, ornaments. That was a good thing. I think they were very popular at Christmas and birthdays and stuff like that. And yeah, I spent ages putting it all together. Let me just have a look. Oh, has it got it all? Has it pulled it all up? Going back to 2023. What about all the others? That's weird. That's strange. And the length isn't even coming up. It's coming up on some of them. Right, I'm bored with that now. Alright, so I did the shop display, had it all nice, and they said, I said, well, because there was a curtain in front, so the shop couldn't see the display, but people outside could see it. So they had to go out the front with my manager. Let's just have a look. And he said, no, can't have that. I said, I thought you'd say that. He said, what do you mean? I said, look, just because we're a Buddhist shop and we're all Buddhists that work in here, most of the people that come in here are not going to be Buddhists. And so the presents, I've got it nice for, that's why I've got Father Christmas or Santa and a couple of elves, and I rented them out by the hour. But, well, actually, garden gnomes dressed as elves, but it's a similar kind of thing. And I say dressed as elves, what did I think? I dressed them as leprechauns, but it's similar, isn't it? And my manager said, no, it's not because of the Buddhist thing. I said, what is it then? He said, it's not Christmas. I said, what? He said, it's not Christmas. This is the bank holiday sale. We're still in June. Why have you got Christmas stuff up? I said, you need to be clearer with your instructions. And I said, oh, how come you left me 5 hours during this period that I've been doing this? You've all gone out to lunch. So how come you didn't come out the front and you would have seen it, wouldn't you? You would have seen it and you'd have kind of stopped me. So why didn't you come out the front during your break time? They said, because we went out the back. I said, well, why? So we didn't have to talk to you. The problem is some of the Buddhists are a little bit too honest. It's a bit frustrating. So that didn't go so well. I remember I had one friend, and he was the manager as well, but he's an amazing person. But he put a display of curtains up. Really, he put everything into this display. It's very artistic. And he'd spent years working in the other shop. This was in a different shop. Same brand, but different town. And this is when I was at university, so I worked there part-time. 2008, I think it was. 2008, 2009. Previously, 2004 in the other place. Well, 2003, 2004 in the other town. And he put this display up, and I said to him, he said, what do you think? I said, I think it's amazing, it's lovely. But there's a problem. He said, what? I said, it's in front of the fire escape. He said, what fire escape? I said, exactly. You can't see the fire escape because all these curtains are in front of it. And he said, oh, that's fine, it don't matter. But the thing is, he didn't mean it like that. It was more, he was so chilled out, he didn't think about stuff like that. You know, he didn't, but he was annoyed with me because he just spent about 2 hours putting that display up. And I wasn't really, I mean, you could say, why didn't I tell him? But I thought it'd be funny. No, I wasn't taking any notice. I was busy on the shop because it was around the corner from where the till was. So I was busy serving customers. Or I might have been upstairs unpacking, I don't know. But I didn't see really what he was doing. And so he walked off and he went upstairs into the office, and he came down and started taking the stuff down. Because it, as simple as that, it had no choice. I mean, there's a big red door with fire escape written on it, or fire door written on it, which led out to a courtyard that was shared with all the other shops, like, that surrounded. And so it was just one of those things. But I did feel a little bit bad for him because he had put a lot of work into it. So that brings me to the end. So thanks for listening. No. A couple of other things. I decided the other day, I said I'm not making any more changes. I'm just going to stick to what I'm doing for next year. And I decided to do that. But I've already made a couple of changes. Now I've gone back. So I've literally written a list for myself that I want to try and stick to for the coming year ahead. So I'm not going to do any more videos. There's a few reasons. I can go through them all if you want, but so I've written on a list: podcasts only, no YouTube videos. And I did sign up again with Shopify, which is that was where my other podcasts used to be, or where my YouTube, my website used to be. and my Let Me Bore You to Sleep was letmeboreyoutosleep.com, but I've got rid of that, so that's not. I was only up for a day or two. So the only, and I've got another thing, another note, onlyjasonnewland.com, only website for the coming year. So I don't know how I'm going to kind of force myself to stick to this, because every now and then I get the urge to do something new. I want to say every now and then, I mean, you know, every 10-20 minutes possibly. And it's how I am, and it's how I've been able to be so productive over all these years. And sometimes I do need to kind of mix things up a little bit, just for me. And I think also for you as well, it's nice to maybe do something a little bit different, which is why I started the new series last Thursday, which was what was it called? Thursday Throwbacks. And I'm planning to continue that for probably the coming year. Now you might be thinking, why did you do that? Why? Well, I've been looking for a Thursday thing. I mean, I did do Thursday, Healing Thursday, and I didn't really know about that. I was kind of trying to make recordings for... Well, really, I was trying to make recordings for Molly, without like specifying that they were for Molly, because Molly, hello Molly, hope you're listening and you're fine. She'd had some medical stuff going on, and I just wanted to reach out and do something, but I didn't know kind of what to do. I didn't know. I did a few recordings, but I hope that maybe these recordings have been useful in some way. I don't know. I hope so. Well, it's all I can do is hope. Right. This was last week's Q&A Friday. Q&A Friday. But oh no. So last week, any questions for this week's Q&A Friday, 24th of October. So that was last week. Hope wrote, my question from last week was not answered this week, as promised. I cried a little, so I'm asking again. Favourite TV shows from the 1980s. So I remembered that I did actually talk about TV shows from the 80s in the recording. And if I look there, if I go back to Q&A Friday, 10th of October, when are you going to talk about the bathrooms? I will do in a minute, honestly, I promise. Focus on sounds, Q&A Friday, where is it? Okay, so this was on the 10th. So I've got a description, 17th of October. Alright, so it wasn't, that was... Okay, I think this is... Apparently I do a monologue, that's what the description says. I didn't realise. I did actually talk about my favourite TV shows from the 80s, but it was probably so far into the recording. I talked about comedy and variety, Only Fools and Horses, Blackadder, Top of the Pops, Wogan, Blind Date, Generation Game, dramas, EastEnders, especially Dan and Angie era, Dallas, London's Burning, US shows, Cheers, MASH, Knight Rider, The A-Team, Baywatch, kids shows, Danger Mouse, He-Man, Grange Hill, Monkey, and Muppet Babies, and special mention of Sapphire and Steel as an underrated favourite. Discusses his love of TV as company and part of his daily life growing up. So I did actually mention it, but I was a bit scared to say that I had, in case Hope shouted at me. But I did. I genuinely did. Was that last week? Yeah. So that I did. But so what I thought, because I remember mentioning it in that recording, that I realised there was not enough time to answer that question in Let Me Bore You to Sleep, like normal recording, or especially on a Q&A Friday when there's other questions to answer. And it was such a huge subject, to span through the 1980s, especially when it comes to something like TV shows, and how much of a television addict I was back then. I mean, I watched TV. It was almost like my hobby in a way. So all the way through, from the age of 7, and probably when I was really young, I'd watch TV. There was a period when I didn't get to watch much TV, but when I was 7, I'd watch TV on the Saturdays and possibly in the evenings. Probably in the evenings, but I was quite young. I don't know what time I went to bed then. But as I got older, and I'd watch more TV because I was awake for longer. And yeah, I loved it all. So to even broach that subject, to kind of cover a whole decade of TV shows that I watched and enjoyed, it was an impossible task, really. And it wasn't impossible. I could scan over the period, but to do an actual, the proper time it required, or that it needed, would take a whole podcast episode on its own. So what I decided is to do the Thursday throwbacks, which was last Thursday, which was Let Me Bore You to Sleep number 1471. And the first one was called TV Shows 1980. This Thursday it will be TV Shows 1981. So I'm not necessarily just focusing on my favourite TV shows, although I will mention which ones I liked. I'm probably not going to mention which ones I don't like, because they're not the ones I would have watched. So, I mean, there was a time I would watch pretty much anything. Of course, I had my favourites, but I would, if a TV was on, I'd be watching it. So this week I'll do 1981, and then, so for the next 9 weeks, I will do Thursday throwbacks, TV shows, 1980s. That's 9 weeks. How many weeks have we got left of the year? So, October 27th. Now, what's going on here? Clear all. What are you doing? No, it's not what I want. I don't want any notifications. What are you doing that for? All I want to do is see what I don't want. Okay. No. It's done it again. What you done it again for? Right. Okay. Oh no, I see what I've done now. So if we got Monday the 27th, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 weeks left, so it's November. 4 weeks, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, so 9 weeks takes us to the 29th. So the 1st of January will be the last one of the Throwback Thursday. I'm thinking, because Christmas period is not always everyone's favourite period. Some people absolutely love it, some people don't. Some people perhaps don't see so many people as they would normally see. You know, we're all different, we've got different lives and stuff. If there's something you'd like me to do, there's something you can think about maybe, something you'd like me to do special for Christmas, as in maybe the Christmas week, I could make everything Christmassy, so I won't do any of the normal stuff. For example, let's have a look at the week. So Christmas week would say Monday, so Monday the 19th, so Christmas Eve's on a Saturday, Christmas Day is on the Sunday, Boxing Day's on the Monday. I would say for 2 weeks. I think because the week after Christmas up to New Year's Day is also, I class that as kind of Christmas period as well. So maybe from the 19th to the 1st, 19th of December to the 1st of January, and have, or maybe to the 31st. I don't know, unless we just do from the 24th to the 31st. I think it'd be nice to do it a little bit more though. So 19th to the 31st of December, and have a special Christmas time. I don't quite know what. If you've got any ideas, maybe, let me know, but I'll give it a little bit of thought. But I'd much rather do something that you think is a good idea. And maybe something that you can listen to during the day, which won't be boring and won't send you to sleep. Or it might be too late for that now, you're used to listening to my voice, but I don't know, just whatever. I'm open to suggestions. I'm trying to think of the very first bathroom that I can remember. Now, I can remember other places I've lived, but I can't remember the bathrooms. When I lived in Nazareth House in Southend, there was a dormitory. It was all boys in the dormitory. There was girls living in the building as well. And I don't know if we was all like a certain kind of age. I'm really not sure how many kids were there. But the dormitory was, what was it, 2, 4, 6, there must have been at least 12, maybe more kids. Maybe it was bigger than that, maybe more there. But at the end of the dormitory, so if you go in the door, into the dormitory, turn right, and that's where all the beds was, either side of the room. And I'm pretty sure turn left, and that was where the bathroom was. Now I don't remember where it wasn't a bathroom as in it had a bath. I do remember the bathroom, wow. But there was these sinks where we would brush our teeth, and possibly there was a toilet where we could, like, urinal or something. perhaps there was a toilet in there. But the actual bathroom, we used to have a bath once a week. And yeah, I think it was the care workers that did it. It wasn't the nuns. I think it was the care workers. And I do believe it was on a Sunday evening. Just so we were at our least smelly when we went to school on Monday. Least smelly. And it wasn't a big bathroom as far as I remember. But it was... I didn't mind it. I didn't really care. I wasn't like scared of water or anything, like having a bath. But I don't think, yeah, so that was okay. All I remember is the bath was on the right hand side as you went into the door. That's the only thing I remember. And we'd be called in. So we'd all just be called in, and maybe we'd be watching telly. If there was a telly, I'd be watching it. Although I don't think we were allowed to watch telly at that time of night. Yeah, television was very sparse in the children's home. There used to be like a little routine during the week. We get to watch Crossroads, which I think was on about 5:30 or 6 in the evening, like very early. And all the chairs would be gathered around this television. So we'd watch Crossroads, which was a soap based in a motel. And then we'd go to bed, which was like a very early night. So we'd be in bed by 7 or something ridiculous like that, maybe earlier. So the next place I lived was with my dad and his new wife. I don't remember that bathroom because that was his new wife's mother, her house. So I don't remember that bathroom. I don't even remember the room that I slept in, which is weird considering it was the first... Well, it was such an important event, but I just can't remember. And maybe I wouldn't be able to remember when we moved into... Well, I do. I remember when we moved into the new house, which was a 3-bedroom house, a new build, and it's the one that my nan and granddad took over a couple of years later, or a year and a half later. And what's strange is I think maybe I've got more memories of it because I continued to see and visit that house to the age of like 40 or 39, 40. So maybe that's why I've kind of have so much memory of the bathroom and the toilet downstairs and all that stuff. So I do remember, and that was good, having a toilet downstairs, especially when you got... What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people living in a house. You need 2 toilets. I would say. Yeah, 2 toilets. So which there was. There was a bathroom upstairs with a toilet. I don't remember if I ever had a... Well, I'm sure I had baths and stuff, but I don't know if I ever had a shower. But as you walked in, on the left-hand side, that was where the bath was. There was a shower curtain, but that was when my nan lived there, so I don't know if there was a shower curtain there when we lived there. There was a sink underneath the window, which was right ahead as you walk in, and to the right it was the toilet was kind of to the right of the sink, and there was a bathroom cabinet on the wall, on the right hand wall. And the window, I mean, it was kind of frosted, you know, like bathroom windows, but it was facing the garden and the motorway, which was just literally just above the garden. There was a garden and then like an embankment which led to the motorway. But it's weird, living so close to a motorway, just didn't even notice it. And I could not care. I'll be honest, I didn't care about the cars. Just, I loved living there. I really did. So that's the second one that I couldn't remember. The third one I can remember would be when I moved into the big house, which was, it was a very old, bit decapitated, but it was a doer-upper, as it were, and my dad spent years with our help doing it up. There was one, so that upstairs there was a bathroom, a toilet next to it. So a bathroom with a toilet. There was a separate toilet next to it. Downstairs there was a toilet, and there was an outside toilet, which is quite handy considering how many of this there were, because there was also another baby by then. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us. That bathroom, again, the same kind of walked in, bathroom was on the left, the sink was underneath the windowsill. We had all of our, like, toothbrushes and stuff in a cup. The toilet was to the right, and there was a bathroom cabinet on the right wall. Because I remember I made a mistake once when I was about 14. Came home from school for lunch, and I took a handful. There was like Vicks Vapor Rub and Vaseline together on the shelf on the bathroom cabinet, and I was in a hurry. And I basically took like a dollop or a blob or whatever of Vicks Vapor Rub instead of Vaseline by accident. I went upstairs and screamed the house down. Basically, it was very weird. So yeah, because it's just exactly the same. It's a different colour carton, but it was the same kind of plastic thing, same lid, everything. So yeah, I'm not sure what else was in that cabinet. I don't remember. I don't think I had much reason to go in there, but there'd have been a mirror on it. I know that. But I think most bathroom cabinets have mirrors on them, don't they? Like a slide. I don't know if it was a slidey one or if it's an open one with a magnet, or if it was one of those that you press and it opens. Do you know those ones? It might be one of them. I've experienced lots of different bathroom cabinets over the years. So there's that was that bathroom. So I spent, how many years was I there? I was there from the age of 9 to the age of 15 and a half. August, September, October, November, December, January, February. Yeah. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So over 6 years I was living in that house. So I'd had quite a few showers. I think it was generally a shower in the morning, especially as I got older. But it's weird, as we all kind of got older, we sort of seemed to take longer in the showers for some reason. It was kind of difficult because to try and manoeuvre 3, because at one point I was a kid, but at one point we did have 3 teenagers all at the same time living in the house. I mean, one was 4 years older, so when I was 13, my oldest brother was 17 and the other one was 15. So yeah, it was I used to get to school about 11 in the morning sometimes. Just, I just had to say sorry. I've got two older brothers. They're both teenagers. There was a queue. Well, what time did you get in the bathroom then? 8. So that makes me laugh. I don't know why. I didn't. I'm just listening. I try to think of the next house that I had a bathroom. Well, they all had bathrooms, but I'm trying to think. Where did I move to next? Oh yeah, I moved into my stepmom's mother's flat. She had a lovely bathroom, but there was no window. It was all extractor fan. It smelt nice. Well, not all the time. I apologise to everyone, but generally it was quite nice. She had a lovely flat. She really looked after it. It was a lovely, lovely place. It was what you'd say is the opposite to here. It was very well organised, and yeah, I'd love to have a flat like that. But I'd have to have it in the contract that I couldn't change things. What I mean is, like, everything has to stay nice, because otherwise it wouldn't. I mean, it's just having a pet would just ruin everything. Vinny, Andre, wow. But it was nice. I liked that flat. Nice kitchen, nice living room. The bedrooms were a nice size. I never got to sleep in the bedroom because I was on the living room floor on a camper bed with a, not straight jacket, what do they call it? Sleeping bag. So that bathroom, you have to turn the light on. The extractor fan would come on straight away. The light was good lighting, so I always looked quite nice. It wasn't like a normal light. It was very kind of yellow, like more orangey. The toilet was straight ahead. The sink was next to it, and the bathroom was to the left. You might think, well, that isn't that the same as all the others, but it's a little bit different because with this one, you went in and the toilet was direct with the actual door. In the other ones, you'd go in and the toilet was like to the right, the sink was direct, and then so it's a little bit different spatial. It's kind of the same, but a little bit different. I don't remember if there was a bathroom cabinet. I'm sure there was. But it was nice. There was enough room to spread out on there as well. Because when there was no one around, I'm just saying there was enough room to lie down in the bathroom if you were careful. Trying to think where else. So I moved into the chip shop upstairs, not the actual chip shop. So I lived above the chip shop. My bathroom, blimey, yeah. So go up the stairs, turn right. On the right hand side is the kitchen. Go straight, and that's the bathroom. Now, as you go in, the sink was on the left. The bath was straight ahead, like longwise, if you know what I mean. So the bath was against that wall, but it was straight ahead as you walked in. So I'm guessing the toilet was probably next to the bath, unless the toilet was the other side of the wall. I think it was next to the bathroom. No, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. No, I think as you went in, I think the toilet was right to the right of you, or with me. Can't remember exactly. All I know is that once I'd moved in, I was told that a new law had been come out, and anyone that was eating in a restaurant, because there was a restaurant there as well that sold fish and chips and other stuff like that, any customer who wanted to use a toilet, they had to provide it by law. So they would let them go and use my bathroom, which wasn't nice. And all the staff used it as well. So my boss would kind of have access as well, to go into the office at the top, because one room was an office. So there wasn't really my flat, if you know what I mean. I did have a bathroom that I had to share with the public and the staff. I had a kitchen, a bedroom, and a living room. None of them had locks on the doors. Not that I really had much, to be fair. But yeah, members of the public were going in there. I didn't really enjoy that. And I think the staff were putting their coats at the bottom of the stairs on the rack. It didn't really feel like mine, if you know what I mean. I'd lock the door at night, put the chain on. So I had a bit of privacy at the night time and maybe on a Sunday. But that was kind of it. But the bathroom, yeah, that was all right. I remember it was right ahead of the thing. So where did I move? Oh, I moved into my dad's for a while. His bathroom, walk in, bath on the left, had a shower, attached shower curtain. The sink, again in front of the window, toilet next to the sink, and then there was a bathroom cabinet. So it's the same kind of setup. Bum 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 bum. Then I moved out of there, moved into. I know where I moved into, but I can't tell you what that bathroom was like. I can't remember it. I remember the room that I was living in. It was just a rented room on the seafront or near the seafront. I cannot remember. No, wait a minute. No, that's not my next flat. My next flat was, because I was working at the co-op then, wasn't I? My next flat was living above the co-op. Do I remember that bathroom? No, I don't. Wow. What was that bathroom like? That's not great if I can't remember bathrooms, is it? Don't worry, I remember some of them. So I don't remember that bathroom. I remember my room vaguely. I remember the kitchen, because that was connected to the living room. It was a nice living room. Bedroom of the lady that I was renting off, who at the time was the manager of the co-op. It was next to mine, and she used to be on the CD radio. No, it's not CD, CB radio, like non-stop in the evening. All you'd hear is over 4394 over and stuff like that. I don't know, whatever the lingo was back then. And then I can't remember the bathroom. So I moved from there to the place down the seafront. Then I moved to another place on the seafront. And that was when I was working in the pub. The bathroom. I think, not 100%, no, it wasn't, that's a different place. So yeah, I don't remember the bathroom there. I think it was on the same floor. It's just a standard bathroom. I remember other stuff that happened there, I just don't remember the bathroom. Yeah. And then from there I moved back to my dad's, so I've already explained his bathroom, for a couple of months. Then I moved out of there and I went and stayed with my where did I stay? Where did I stay? I think I stayed at my friend's. Yeah, I stayed at my friend's mum's house for a little while. Her bathroom, I liked her bathroom because I used to have a nice sing-song in there. Not with her, but on my own. The bath was, it was on the left-hand side again. As you walked in, sink above the kitchen, above the window, toilet, just standard. There's a lot of bathrooms like that. But I remember I was there during the summer, like early summerish, sort of spring, summer, and I'd have a good old sing-song, really like sing George Michael songs and stuff, and the acoustics were lovely, and I knew that my friend, it was her mum, she'd be visiting, and I fancied her. I actually ended up dating her a couple of years later, 2003, 4, quite a few years later actually, really, when you think about it. So 6 years later. And I was trying to impress her by singing. I feel so unsure, ooh. And I heard her giggling. I just figured she must, whenever she hears something really amazing, it must just cause her to giggle. Actually, she was laughing, like really laughing, but I guess someone told her a joke. But the laughter stopped when I stopped singing. It's weird, isn't it? I'm trying to impress her by my singing, and the whole time I'm singing, someone's telling her jokes. And as soon as I stop singing, they stop telling her jokes. I think that's what you call blocking. They were blocking me. So then I moved from there. That's when I went to Spain for the weekend. Well, I went to Spain to live, and I stayed for the afternoon, rather, really. And then I came back, and I didn't have anywhere to live. And that's when I moved in with... I went and... I had a little job looking after a couple's kid while they were at work at night. So I only did this for a couple of months, but I was basically sleeping on the floor in the living room on some cushions, and it seemed like a good idea to start with. Plus I was homeless, so I needed somewhere to crash, but it didn't really work out very well. And their bathroom, it was at the top of the stairs, and I think the same as always, baths on the left-hand side. Is that just like a natural, normal thing? Sink just below the window, and toilet next to that. So that's another kind of standard thing. No. Yes. No, it was. And so I moved out of there, stayed with some friends, different people, and then I found... What did I do then? I got another place. I'm going to miss out a few places, just trying to think of places where I remember the bathroom. So there was a bathroom. This happened a couple of times. So I moved into this other place. I remember this bathroom because I don't know how to explain. Basically, I was sharing a house with a lot of people that like to go out drinking. So it was a family plus it was like a builder and his employees or people he worked with were lodging with him. It was a big house, and I'd met them at the pub. I was working in the pub. They were like regulars, and kind of it turned out that they had a room to rent, and I'd moved in. I was right at the top of the house, and the bathroom was downstairs, but it was a 3-story house. Big kitchen, big living room. It was quite a big house, big garden on the seafront. That'd be worth quite a bit of money, I reckon, now. But they'll all be, wow, so I was 20? No, I was 18, 19. Sort of 55. It'll all be in the 70s now, at least. Maybe 80s, some of them, because some of them are a bit older, a good 20 years older than me. Wow. And the bathroom used to get a little bit messy sometimes because there's a lot of drunk people about and stuff. So I remember the bath again was on the left-hand side. The sink this time I think was on the right-hand side. So it wasn't above the window. It wasn't below the window. It wouldn't be above the window, would it? Otherwise you need a ladder, unless the window is really low down. Do you ever see those places where, like tourist places, where you can literally walk on like a big pane of glass, and you're thousands of meters up, and like, why would anyone do that? Why would anyone put that? Why would they even think of doing that? Like, why? It just doesn't make sense. It's like eating the hottest curry in the world. Like having it. Why? I'm just confused. I don't understand. Oh, what's this? Oh, someone's posted a comment on my YouTube video. My like yesterday's one, saying, "Great job, I've never been so bored in my life." Okay. The thing is, I don't know if that was a compliment or not. That's the positive side of doing these recordings, is because if it's really boring people in a way that they're not happy with, well, I'm not aiming to make people unhappy, but if it really is boring people, then that's what it's about. If people find it interesting what I'm talking about and find me an interesting person, that's also nice, in a way, but I can't really lose on that one. No. So I'm trying to think where else. I moved out of there. I moved in with a friend. So this is all long before I even moved to London. So I was like 18. Yeah, I was 18 at this time. Moved in with a friend, and I'd stayed at quite a few different people's places, so I can't remember the bathrooms or where they was. Don't remember that bathroom. And I moved with him to another place where I had one room, he had a room downstairs. The bathroom, I do believe, was through the kitchen. That's not the first time that's happened either. Like, I'm not saying it's not the first time that I've gone to the toilet at the end of the kitchen. I don't mean that. I mean, it's actually an actual bathroom, which is a weird setup. Very strange. And and that was just a shower, no bath. And then I moved to London, stayed with someone, and that bathroom, go in, it was at the top of the stairs, go in, bath was on the left but had a shower, sink below the window just ahead next to the bath, and the toilet on the right hand side. So that was just, I didn't realise until I started this that pretty much every bathroom seems to have the same design layout. And then I moved out of there, I moved into another place, and bam. Oh yes, I moved there. I'm not sure. I think, was the bathroom through the kitchen in that place as well? I think it might have been. I think the bathroom might have been through the kitchen, which again was just a weird place to have a bathroom. Yeah. So I lived there, and then I moved to another place. There was a flat. I stayed with my friend. He had a nice bathroom, because he lived in a council flat in Stratford, and yeah, it was a nice bathroom. It was just a standard. I don't think it was. I think it was like another inside one with no window or anything, just like an extractor fan. But it was nice. It was well looked after. And it was on the left-hand side, walking down the hallway. Was it the left-hand side or the right? No, I think it was on the right-hand side, but the left-hand side was the kitchen. And it's quite a long hallway, and the living room was right at the end. Big living room. On the right, that was his bedroom. Mine was at the end. It was a big old flat. It's how they used to build them, back in the day, as it were. I guess 2 bedrooms. I guess it might have had a 3rd bedroom. I don't know. Even though he was my friend that I worked with, and then he lost that job, which is why I moved in, sort of to help him out, but also to get out of where I was living. I didn't really spend a huge amount of time with him, because I'd be at work, and when I got home, I wanted just to watch TV and then go back to work. And I'd like chat to him and stuff. I wouldn't be ignoring him. I'd chat to him at the weekends, but it was, I just wasn't really as focused. I've always kind of liked just to be left alone, really, generally. So I moved out of there, and I moved back into the other place that I lived before. Then I moved out of there, and I stayed with my dad again for a little while. And then I moved out of there and moved into his new house with him, which had a bathroom, which was, as you walked in, the bath's on the right hand side, and then there's a toilet on the left, and there's a bathroom, a sink, and a window above it, and then there's another toilet next to it, separate toilet, as well. So there's 2 toilets. And I was only there for probably a few weeks, and then I moved out, and I got a studio flat which I lived in. And it used to be a holiday rent. Vinny's treating us to him drinking. So this holiday place, it used to be where people used to come, and it was like it wasn't a caravan, but it was that kind of thing. The people would stay in there, and it was nice. I quite liked it. In fact, if I hadn't given up my job, I would have. I'm not saying I'd still be there, but I would have stayed there for longer. Although there was a flood, so that was a bit weird. But that's another story. The bathroom there, it felt like a caravan. That was why I kind of said caravan. Everything felt like a caravan. And he was a builder, so I don't know, maybe he did it that way. Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe he built the house out of caravans. I don't know, more caravan parts. But everything felt like it was a holiday chalet caravan thing. I liked that place. I liked that house, or living in that room. That was nice. And then I moved out of there. Where did I go next? Oh yeah, I ended up living in another house that was literally just up the road from where I lived for 6 years, when I was from the age of 9 to 15, which was really weird to live on that same road in another house that was kind of the same sort of size, pretty much. Very, very strange. It wasn't as big, but it was the sort of same. It was still 3 stories, and well, I've never lived in a warmer house. I mean, the heating was on. I moved in there probably November and I moved out in January. It might have been October, but it was like during the winter anyway. And I had to have the windows open because it was too hot. But the bathroom was through the kitchen, another bathroom through the kitchen, which I was like, this is weird. Another bathroom through the kitchen. I think it was, unless it was upstairs. But I don't think I ever went upstairs, so it must have been through the kitchen. And then I moved from there to London, and I stayed in Stratford, and that place, the bathroom was downstairs. So you go in the front door, turn right, close the doors, There was 2 front doors. There was a front door, then there was another inner door. Turn right, follow that through the kitchen. The bathroom was through the kitchen again. Turn left, and as you go in, the bath was on the right-hand side. Then there was a sink underneath the window, and then a toilet, next to the sink. That had a shower as well, but in them days I preferred to have a bath. That's just my preference. But she used to moan at me for having baths too early in the morning. In fact, she even moaned that I was having showers too early in the morning. I said, what do you want me to do? Go to work stinking? And she didn't quite get it, because she'd been retired for about 30 years at this point, and she didn't realise that I wanted to be clean. I was like 20 years old. Not that being 20's really got anything to do with it, but I was hygienic, or at least I tried to be. So I lived there. Then I moved into my friend's place. I didn't let him know until I knocked on the door, so that was a bit cheeky, I suppose. His bathroom. Where was his bathroom? I wonder where his bathroom was. Was it downstairs? So I'm pretty sure downstairs was the kitchen. I lived downstairs. Kitchen downstairs. Upstairs was the living room and his bedroom. I think the bathroom was downstairs as well, but not through the kitchen. Then we got evicted from there. Another place I stayed at was my friend's house the bathroom was upstairs. The first door you get to as you go upstairs, you've got to turn around a little bit. But basically the bathroom, then next to the bathroom was my friend's room, then further up there was my other friend's room. Wait a minute. Yeah, my room, there was a bathroom and there was a toilet next to it. So there was a single toilet on its own, then there was a bathroom next to it. And the bath was on the left. And again, same setup, sink below the window and a toilet. I think that was council as well. And then I move. Okay, I'm trying to think. I lose track of different places. When I lived at Butlins, there was a bathroom. The bathrooms are basically like big communal bathrooms because there was a lot of us. We lived in these, like the accommodation, staff accommodation. I shared a room with someone, and there was these basic places where you could go to the toilet and have showers, and it was weird. I'd never been really, I'd never been in that environment, but as an adult I'd never been kind of shared a room with anyone. Not really. And I'm trying to think, then I moved into a place in Stratford, lived there. The bathroom was upstairs, bath on the left, sink, toilet, same kind of layout, with a fitted shower. And then I moved again. Oh, this was weird. This bathroom, wow, it was really not nice. It was a sublet, so it was a council flat. Didn't realise until, well, I kind of did know, I suppose, so, but it was ridiculous. Don't ever get a sublet. Renting a sublet was just ridiculous. I mean, I wasn't renting it, I wasn't letting it, I was renting it. Just a room. And yeah, the bathroom was really bad. And my friend cleaned it. He had a way of cleaning it, so he did that. And because there was two men there, I was a security guard at the time. He was working on the underground, like building the underground station or whatever. So the bath would get a bit dirty. But you go in there, the bath was on the left, toilet was on the right, sink in the middle. I don't recall, I don't think there was there was no window in the bathroom. No. No, probably just an extractor fan in my memory. Oh, no, there wasn't. So then I moved out of there and I went back to the previous place I lived in Stratford. I lived there for a few years. Then I was evicted from there. And again, I lived in another place where the bathroom was through the kitchen. It's like, what is this thing about bathrooms being through the kitchen? Not in the kitchen, but through the kitchen, which meant having to walk all the way through the kitchen whenever I wanted to have a bath or go to the toilet or anything like that. And I remember complaining to my landlady, and she said, well, I said, it's embarrassing. She said, well, why don't you wear a dressing gown then? I said, oh, okay, fair enough. And then I moved from there, bed and breakfast. This is when I started doing the Churchill job. Stayed in the bed and breakfast for a couple of weeks. Couldn't even tell you what the bathroom was like there. It was a shared bathroom. I don't think it was en suite. It might have been en suite. No, maybe. And then I moved into the YMCA, which was it was a room, it was a studio apartment, so I had my own bathroom, kitchenette and living room area, which was both a bedroom and a living room. I lived in 3 different places in that building, and the bath, it was pretty much the same kind of layout for the first 2. For all of them really, but the last one I remember more. Yeah, the bathroom. So the bed, I was in the bed, come out of the bed, and the bathroom was to the right. Go in, bath was directly ahead, long ways around, so you could see it. The toilet was on the left, the sink was on ahead, on the right. So, no, wait a minute, no, the sink was on the left-hand side and the toilet was on the right-hand side. Because it was like, it was space saving to have it kind of a little bit compact. And then from there I moved just round the corner actually, but this house didn't even have any heating, but there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us, 6 rooms sharing a bathroom. And downstairs there was a particularly busy room that also shared the bathroom, so the bathroom was very busy. And the bath was on the left hand side. I don't think it had a shower, but the same kind of layout as the others. Sink underneath the window and the toilet to the right. Then I moved out of there and I lived in another place. It was the community, Buddhist community. Bath was on the left. Yeah, it's the same layout and so many of the same places. Different places, but same layout. So that was kind of the same layout. And then I moved from there to this town. So that was, again, the bathroom was through the kitchen, but also so was my bedroom. So, oh, all right, Vinny. Vinny's staring at me for some reason. Can't believe it's nearly dark outside. It's only 20 to 5. Inside, honestly, it's dark in here. It's ridiculous. It's not dark outside proper, but it's... Do you know when it's still light outside, but you can't do anything inside without the light being on? That's kind of where we are now. 20 to 5. Now, admittedly, last week, I think it was basically sundown about 6, just before 6, I think it was, before the clocks went back. What was it? Spring back, fall forward, or spring forward, fall back. Though we don't call it fall in this country, we call it autumn, but spring back, fall forward. Whoever did the 1 o'clock show, they started the 1 o'clock show on the radio, had to do 4 hours. So they started at 1, they finished at 3 rather, but they'd done 4 hours. Does that mean the clocks went back then? Or the clocks went forward? It was only a couple of days ago, I still can't remember. Isn't that weird? I'm having to stroke Vinny, he wants my attention. I think he's thinking, he may be wondering, why are we sitting in the dark, Daddy? Can't you turn the light on or something? How am I supposed to read? Why is the television not on? Why is there no music? Yesterday, I think it was because of the clocks being moved around. I couldn't get my bearing. It just felt, I was looking at the clock thinking, oh, it's got to be about 6 o'clock, and it was 3. It's just weird. It's kind of messed with my time, my internal time clock a little bit. Normally I don't really take much notice, I don't think. So where did I get up to? So I moved in a community, then I moved to this town. Oh yeah, so there was a bathroom right ahead and through the kitchen again, but this time also my bedroom was on the right hand side. It was just a shower, no bath. And the sink was... I think the toilet was in front of the window and the sink was behind the door. And the shower was kind of in the corner. So it's quite a small room, but it was big enough to, do what you need to do. In fact, I think it wasn't that small a room, or maybe it was. And then I was there for 3 years, something. Then I moved to another place. I just point out I've not managed to remember everywhere I've lived. Just this is a few anyway. It's a lot, quite a few of them. I moved to another place, this is when I was counselling, and I had an ensuite bedroom that I rented. That was a nice bathroom. It was a nice bedroom in the new build house. One of the problems was the walls were thin, nothing worked. It was a nice room. It's similar kind of design as the other place, I think, that I was talking about. But it was much bigger. It's a bigger bathroom, all fitted. The sink was if you go in, turn right, or just turn right. That's where the sink was, with a big mirror. Because I used to make recordings in the mirror. Would you believe? I did. Or I'd put it on the sink and I'd make recordings, like little hypnosis recordings, 10-minute sessions before going to work. The shower was next to that, and then the toilet was on the left, and there was a window. The toilet kept breaking. I mean, within moving in there after a little while, the toilet broke, and it took weeks for him to fix it. I was literally pouring buckets of water down to get it flushed. I mean, there was a communal toilet. There was actually a communal bathroom right next to mine, and there was a communal toilet on the floor downstairs. So there was 2 other toilets and 1 shower and a bath that I could use. But what's the point in paying, which at the time I was spending £125 a week to rent this ensuite room and not being able to use the ensuite? And then the shower started leaking. Yes, it was a bit of a mess. But I only stayed there for a year, and then I moved out, and I went back to sharing a bathroom again. This is the place just before I moved here. And I was in the basement, and there was 3 of us. There was upstairs, and there was loads of people living upstairs as well. They had a bathroom they shared. But we were the only 3 people that had a key to the front door to our bit. And the bathroom, as you went in, pretty much the same. It's much smaller, but the toilet was on straight ahead. The sink on the right, and then there was the shower. It wasn't a bath. It was just a shower, and the water pressure on that shower was like literally drip, 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 drip. I've never known a water pressure so low. And Yeah, yeah. It wasn't the best place to live, but I was relieved to get out of the previous place, if I'm honest, because I couldn't afford it. So I went from paying £125 a week to paying £65 a week. So it's really, made a difference financially. And then I was able to eventually move here 10 years ago. Yes, I was, Vinny. You wasn't even born then, was you? You was a tiny little, wasn't even a little thought. I got a video of Vinny when he was a baby. So cute. He was just able to walk, and it was like, oh, he's really making a lot of noise trying to get my attention, yeah. So this bathroom, if you go in, the bath's on the right. I've been describing all these other bathrooms. I forgot my own bathroom. Wow. The bath's on the left. Bath's on the right. What the heck am I doing? The bath's... I can't even visualise my own bathroom now. That's weird. Okay. So I'll go in. The sink's ahead. The toilet's on the left-hand side and the bathroom's on the right-hand side. It takes up the whole wall. And I've got a curtain, a shower curtain, and there's a shower already attached, which was there when I moved in. And there's a bathroom cabinet that my dad put up, which is like opposite the bath, as it were, like to the right-hand side of the toilet, which has been there for 10 years. And yeah, so that's the bathroom. I can't believe I forgot which side of the bathroom my bath is. But fortunately, I've got a little dog, a little Jack Russell, squeaking at me, wanting my attention. I'm not really sure what it is he wants, but I'm pretty sure it isn't me continuing to talk. So I hope that I was boring enough with this description of the bathrooms over a period of years. Now, I didn't remember all of them. It's too many to remember. But I remembered a few, which is pretty good. So tomorrow is Trivia Tuesday. Wednesday will be Whisper Wednesday. And so on. Like Thursday is Thursday throwbacks, Friday will be Q&A Friday, and Sunday will be Sunday papers. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you deserve to be happy, and be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.